When it's time to get down to work, you need a place that's comfortable and inviting and helps you be productive. That's why in today's video, we're going to talk about some tips to how to create a productive writing environment for you as a faculty member. The physical space around you impacts your mood, your mindset, and your productivity. So we're going to talk about how to set up your writing space to help you achieve your writing goals. First, you need to set up your space. And before you set it up, you have to decide where you're going to work. Often that's going to be either your office on campus or it might be a home office that you enjoy as your primary writing space. And we're going to spend most of our time talking about that, but you probably also want to consider a secondary space for your writing. That could be the library or a coffee shop or some other co-working space. You'll have less control over how you design and set up that space, but you'll want to pick one that does meet your criteria for what makes a productive space for you. Sometimes going to the same space every day can just put you in a rut and you'll just need a change of pace. That's when I use my secondary sites. Your writing space should be comfortable. Not so comfortable you're going to take a nap there, but comfortable. This means that you're going to need to pay attention to the ergonomics. Do you have a comfortable desk? Maybe you need a desk that has adjustable height in case you're sitting or standing or using your desk in some other way. You're going to want a comfortable chair. That might be just your desk chair. You might also have other comfortable seating in the writing space if you prefer to sit in a more comfortable space instead of at your computer screen. Some people do a lot of writing and thinking just with a pen and a notebook. One thing I like to have when I'm working on my computer are blue blocking glasses. You might want those as well. I like a keyboard that has just the right sound and tension under the letters. This can help you be more productive because it takes less energy to press the keys and causes less strain on your joints. Lighting is another important consideration for how you set up your space. I really like natural lighting. That's why when I go to the library or the coffee shop, even though I can't control the overhead lights, I can control the fact that I choose a coffee shop or in a library and my seat there where I will have good natural lighting through the windows. In my home office, it's the same way. I have a wall full of window over there that helps me feel the natural light through the window. You might also want a small desk lamp that will concentrate the light right on the area where you're working. Some people prefer lighting that is a more natural light color. Some people prefer the bright whites or the warmer tones of a yellowish light. So find the type of lighting that works for you for the writing that you're going to be doing in that space. For example, you might decide to do all of your reading for writing in one space and all of your typing in another space. So you might need to adjust those spaces slightly. Another important consideration when you set up your workspace is to make sure it's tidy. It doesn't have to be completely neat and free of anything. We're not looking for sterile environments, but studies show that when there are fewer piles and distractions, that can help us be more productive because it's less cognitive load that we're worrying about those things. Now, some people love to work with piles on their desks and so forth, and if that works for you, just go for it. Finally, you might want some personal touches in your writing space as you're setting it up. So images that feel inspiring to you. You might paint the colors of the wall a good inspiring color if you have that much control over your space. Plants can add some calming experience to a space. Even looking at the color green can help you feel more grounded, almost as if going outside. So I recommend maybe adding that. You might have inspirational quotes and so forth that either are on your desktop, on your computer screen, or literally on your desktop. Some people like to use scents to help them get into the workflow. So you could do that with candles, with a drink, with some incense, and so forth. You might also want to consider the soundscape of your room. If you like it to be really quiet, you might want noise canceling headphones, and other people might prefer to have natural sounds in the background or the sounds of coffee shop and working. I actually frequently open a YouTube video that has coffee shop sounds in the background, and that helps me really get into the zone, even when I'm working from my home office. So once you have the space, the physical space set up, then you need to think about the tech and software you need to focus on your work that you need to get done and not be distracted. You probably know what software you use and what works well for you to do writing. When I'm doing co-authoring with other people, I use Google Docs. When I'm writing on my own, I draft it in Obsidian. I used to use Scrivener, and some people use Microsoft Word for their long form writing. Use what works for you. When we're really trying to get into the zone and get good, deep work done with our writing and be focused, we need to minimize distractions. That means turning on do not disturb mode on your computer or your phone, closing your email program and the notifications. If you don't need the internet for the specific work that you're doing, you could completely be offline to help reduce some of those distractions. When you open a browser, it'll say, well, you can't do that right now. You're offline, and that'll just be a reminder to get back to being on work. You can also install apps on your computer that will minimize your ability to access certain apps on your computer. And this can allow you to remain focused, because if you try to move off the app that you're working in to a disallowed app that you set the preferences for, then it will tell you that it's not time to look at that right now. I'll put some links to a few ideas in the description below. Now you have your space, you have the technology tools you need, and you've set up some ways to reduce distractions. Now you need to help yourself get into the zone. A productive work environment is not just the physical space, but it's also the mental space. Part of the way we get our mental space ready to do that hard thinking work of reading and writing, do some specific things like rituals and routines that just trigger our mind like, oh, now it's time to work. For example, I have co-working sessions. When I sit down on my computer and turn on the Zoom to join the co-working, my mind automatically says, oh, it's time to work because you just joined the Zoom. That's one tiny routine and ritual that helps get me into that mind space for doing work. Having established times that you're going to do your writing or reading, whatever tasks you need to do that are part of your writing publishing pipeline, then set boundaries around that so that that's your writing time and you don't let other things impinge on that time. Having some rituals at the beginning of the time. Some people might get their cup of coffee or their chai. You might grab your favorite pen. You might light a candle with a certain scent that will trigger your mind that it's time. Maybe you turn on the coffee shop noise in the background, or turn on a specific lamp in your office that triggers that it's time to do that type of work. Another way to help you get in the zone and focus on your rituals and routines is to use some sort of tracking. You could set this up in a Google spreadsheet where you just list the date, the time that you got started, and what you were working on. You might track words written that day. You might track just the amount of time spent working. You could track the number of pages revised or some other objective for that session that sometimes you're just reading. Maybe it's the number of articles you read that day. When I'm working with my clients, we work through a process to have them develop their plan of writing and implement that plan, and then do some evaluation and reflection of how things are going. So I recommend that every now and then you check in with your writing space. Is it still productive for you? Is the location still a good location? Do you need to change anything about the setup? Is it time to tidy the office? Do you need to change the inspirational quotes around? Do you need to do something else? So think about what is working, what is not working. What do you need to change? What do you need to add? What do you need to get rid of? So doing that sort of reflection every now and then will help you just be sure that the writing space continues to be a productive space for you. Hope you found these few tips on creating a productive writing space useful. I would love it if you'd share down below what your space looks like and any rituals or routines you have to help you get in the zone when it's time to get some reading or writing done for your scholarship as a faculty member. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe so you'll know when the next video drops. I'm Kimberly J. Hale, Faculty Success Coach. Until next time, keep exploring to find what works for you.